Hi guys, I'm really excited to be bringing this project to you today. My name's Alex and today we're going to be making a NED keychain or Christmas decoration. Now if you're here, I'm assuming you know who NED is. For those who don't know who NED is, he is the cute little alien dude in the 21 Pilots music videos, and he loves sipping on straight chlorine. So if you'd like to make one of these cute little keychains or Christmas decorations, these are the things that you'll need. For NED, you'll need white yarn and a small amount of light grey and light blue yarn, red and yellow yarn for the hat and bandana, crochet hook, scissors, polyfiber fill, a darning needle, 2 plastic safety eyes, a dinner fork to make your pom-pom, some blusher or pink pastel and a Q-tip, and a keychain or split ring or cord or fishing line to hang your finished NED. The other things below are purely optional, but I will show you how you can create NED's face using felt rather than using the safety eyes. To make the Santa hat and the bandana, I'll show you how to do that in a part 2 video. Now for those of you who love 21 Pilots like I do and love crocheting, I have 2 of these cute little NED stitch markers to give away. All you have to do is post your finished NED to Instagram, tag it to Make It With Alex, and I will select 2 winners to receive these cute little stitch markers. And that includes worldwide post. So good luck. Okay, let's get started. Firstly, you'll need some white yarn. Create a magic ring, and we're going to crochet 6 single crochets on that magic ring. Now if you don't know how to make a magic ring, I do have a separate tutorial on how to create one. For round 2, you'll do 6 increases, which are basically just your single crochet, but you do 2 of them in the 1 stitch space, and you'll end up with 12 stitches at the end of that round. On to round 3. Now with this round you'll be creating 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and you'll do that 6 times round, giving you 18 stitches. Round 4 is 2 single crochet, 1 increase, 6 times round, giving you 24 stitches. And rounds 5 to 8 are simply single crochet all the way around, giving you 24 stitches. And if you're a huge fan of 21 Pilots like I am, I would love to hear from you about what other craft you would like me to make themed on top. And also, leave me a comment about what is your favourite song of theirs. I have a really hard time trying to work out which one's my favourite. I'm a huge fan of Self-Titled, love Taxi Cab, love Hometown. They don't have any bad songs, so it's really tricky. But yeah, please leave a comment about which song you like and why. I'd love to find out. Not yet, Ned, not yet. Looking good, Ned's starting to take shape now. Okay, it's time to get on to making the horns and putting those into place. Okay, so grab your pale grey yarn. You don't need much. You'll need about 2 lengths of say 18 inches or 45 centimetres each. So create a slip knot. You're going to chain 3. Now we're going to do a slip stitch into that second chain from the hook. So insert your hook into that chain space, yarn over, pull it through and back through the loop that's on your hook. Now we're going to do a half double crochet in that very last chain. So yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over again, bring it through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pop that through the very last stitch on your hook. Now you'll need to make 2 of these. So I'll just make another horn. We need Ned to have 2 horns. And we're putting them on at this stage of making Ned's head so that all the tails get hidden into the head with the fibre fill and you don't have to worry about any stitching afterwards. It's just a really simple way of doing it. Now to attach the little horns to Ned's head, we're going to make sure that your stitch marker is at the back of the head, and we're going to count down 4 rows from the magic ring, and we're allowing 4 stitch spaces. So I'm going to go across 2 there. So there's 4 stitch spaces between the horns. So I've worked out the center, gone to the right 2 stitch spaces, and I'm going to insert my first little tail from horn number 1. And pull that through into the inside, then go across 2 stitch spaces and insert the other tail of the horn, So 4 stitches across, insert the other horn, just by pulling that little tail through. Two stitches across, the other tail coming through. And now I'll fasten those with 2 or 3 knots. Then you can just trim off the excess tail. It doesn't matter if it stays in there, but if you just want to make it a little easier to continue crocheting, just trim off those tails. Now on to round 9, which will be 6 single crochet, 1 increase, 10 single crochet, 1 increase, and 6 single crochet, giving you 26 stitches. Rounds 10 and 11 is just 26 single crochet stitches, but after round 10, this is where I'd add your safety eyes if you're using safety eyes. I found the best position for the safety eyes is between rounds 8 and 9, which is just 2 rows up from where you'll be now, and leaving about 4 to 6 stitches between the eyes, depending on the size eye. For this particular Ned, I'll be using felt for his eyes, nose, cheeks and ear fluff, just to give you an alternative to using safety eyes. For round 12, you'll be working 1 single crochet, 1 decrease 4 times, followed by 2 single crochet, 1 decrease 2 times, and 1 single crochet, 1 decrease 2 times, giving you 18 stitches. Round 13 is 9 decreases, giving you a total of 9 stitches. After round 13, you'll want to fill your Ned head with fibre fill, and you want to be quite generous with the stuffing, make sure it's quite firm. Round 14 is simply 4 decrease, leaving you with 5 stitches. Trim off the excess yarn and sew the hole closed using that tail, and hide the excess tail of yarn inside of your little Ned head. If your Ned's going to be used for a keychain, you can bring your tail yarn up through to the top and then stitch on your keychain using that same piece of yarn rather than starting another piece to add the keychain. Just makes it a little bit easier to do that. Now on to making Ned's ears. Obviously you'll need 2 of these and they're exactly the same pattern. So we start by making a magic ring or magic circle. And working 7 single crochet into that magic ring. So not 6 but 7 stitches. Join with a slip stitch. Now this next round, round 2, is a bit tricky, so I'll take you through it really slowly. You want to start with chaining 2, then working a half double crochet in the same space. So we're going to go into the same stitch space at the base of the chain. So there's yarn over, insert the hook into that stitch space, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over again and pulling through all 3 stitches on your hook. The next stitch space we're doing 2 single crochet, the next space we're doing a half double crochet, so yarn over, hook through, yarn over, Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. In the same stitch space we're doing a double crochet, so yarn over. This time we're going to be pulling our hook through just the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again and through the last 2 loops on your hook. The next stitch space we'll be doing another double crochet and half double crochet. Through 2, through the last 2, yarn over to do your half double crochet and through all 3 loops. The next stitch space we'll be doing 2 single crochet, followed by 2 half double crochet in the same space, so through all 3 loops, then 2 single crochet into the same stitch space, and then join with a slip stitch to the top of that first post of chain that you created in round 2. Now we're on to round 3. Now you can start to see the ear taking shape. It's sort of a 3-sided rounded shape. We're going to be working around 2 of those sides now on round 3. Start by chaining 2 stitches, followed by 4 single crochet, a half double crochet, that's yarn over, hook into the stitch space, picking up another loop of yarn, yarn over again and bring it through all 3 loops on your hook. Now we're going to be doing 3 double crochet in the very same space. So remembering just to bring that yarn through the first 2 loops, then back through the next 2 loops. So 3 of these. Then a half double crochet into the next stitch space. Four single crochet and finish off with a half double crochet. Now you want to make 2 of these ears. When you trim your yarn off, leaving enough of a tail to be able to stitch it onto the head. Before you stitch the ears in place, just make sure the position is right. You can pinch the ends of the ear to give it a bit more of a point. And if you wanted to, you could actually stitch that into place just to give that more of a sort of a dip and then a point to the end of the ear. I haven't worried about it, but you could do that if you wanted to. So I'll just make up the other ear. To hide the starting tails from where you started your magic ring, just simply thread the tail onto your darning needle and weave it through the ear back towards the part that would actually join onto the head. If you're using the safety eyes and the little fluffy ears, it's now time to do the fluffy ears by threading your yarn needle with the light blue or pale blue yarn and just stitching it through about 4 lengths I've used of the yarn, just going over on top of itself there so that it won't come undone, and letting the strands of the yarn unravel to make it all fluffy. So I've got 2 in there, just adding another 2 lengths. Again, stitching over the top of itself so that it won't come undone, won't unravel. And then getting the yarn needle through the lengths of the cut yarn just to open up all those little fibres and make it all fluffy. There you go, so it all fluffs up. Then I'll smooth it out and trim it to the right length. I'll also show you how you can do the ear fluff using felt. Now, if you've got safety eyes and you want to have that cute little grey nose that's stitched on, now would be the time to add that. Again, just using a short length of yarn, going over the top of itself maybe 3 or 4 times and then hiding the tails inside the little head. You can also add your blush now to Ned's little cheeks. If you don't want to use blush, you could use pastels. Just a little bit there on the Q-tip, just to give it a cute little blush, little rosy blush. And here's how you could complete Ned's face using felt. So cutting out some black felt to create the eyes. Cut a circle out of 1 piece of felt. Just make sure it's the right size that you're happy with on his face, and then cut out the second one. And I find it easiest just to place the first one on top of another piece of felt and cutting around it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now with the pale pink felt, I'm just going to cut out 2 little ovals for his cheeks. Again, just cutting one shape out, making sure I'm happy with it, then cutting the second one out to match. And then a tiny little piece of the pink for his nose. Glue them all in place with some fabric glue. Now with the little ear fluff or little tuft, I cut out 2 shapes with like 3 sort of spikes to one side, so it indicates the little fluffy patches in his ears. So I cut out one, made sure I was happy with that, then cut around to make a second one. Just check that it actually fits into the ear really nicely. And then when you're happy with it, glue it into place just by putting a little bit of glue along one side so it still sort of sits out and leaves that little fluffy bit a bit loose and freestanding. It looks quite cute like that. I decided with the felt version that I like to put little highlights into the eyes just to make him extra cute. So I cut out 4 little circles, 2 small circles and then 2 even smaller circles, and then glued those into place. And just using the end of a needle or a pin, it makes it a little bit easier just to place that without getting glue all over your hands. I think that the felt-faced version of Ned's turned out quite cute. Now just a reminder, if you are a 21 Pilots fan and you like to crochet, I do have a giveaway going at the moment with this video, which is your chance to win a NED stitch marker. I've got 2 to give away. Post your picture of your finished NED to Instagram with the hashtag #MakeItWithAlex by the end of January, and 2 of you will win a stitch marker with free worldwide post. And I'll include some 21 Pilots stickers in there with that as well. Now I'm just adding the keychain to the top of my NED, ready for the next part, which is in part 2 of this tutorial, the Santa hat and the bandana. I hope you join me for part 2 of this tutorial, and thank you so much for watching. I'm really looking forward to bringing you more 21 Pilots craft and band related craft in the future. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing for some more band related content in the future. Thanks guys.